Welcome back to episode 55 in our Let's Play series of Space Engineer Survival. We are out of magnesium, so our job right now is to go get more. So we're going to take out the MegaMiner and grab some magnesium. Before I go, I am going to dump these pipes and grab these plates, because we are going to build a rail for the MegaMiner. Because it is much easier to use this thing when it is attached to something. And even easier still when we can find the cockpit. There it is. Okay, I gotta remember how to fly this thing. Reactor on, gyros on, thrusters on, lights are already on, access the camera, dampeners are off, shut off the connector, and thrust up to get clear. I'm pretty sure we have a magnesium. Yeah, we have a magnesium deposit. It is 35 clicks away, up and to the left. Looks like it's more or less behind us. There it is. It's over near our iron deposit that we dug out in a previous trip out with the MegaMiner. I'm turning very slowly because I'm drifting up and I don't want to smack my tail into the space industrial complex. Go ahead and use the dampeners to stop again, get rid of that upward drift, and off we go. You know, we accelerate pretty quickly when we're empty. We go a lot slower when we're full. 50 meters per second seems reasonable. We'll shut off the gyros and the thrusters to save some power. There's the asteroid. So the idea here is that we line up with the deposit. I did this with the ice before I built the ice station, but I did that off camera. Is we line up with the deposit, build a rail to clamp the landing gear onto, which I have on the third toolbar here. And then we can drill without worrying about wobbling and shaking and crashing into things. I'm going to go ahead and crank up the antenna range on this ship so we can stay in contact with the Space Industrial Center complex, whatever I'm calling it. And by virtue of that, regardless of how far we end up being away from the relay satellite, we should still have access to that as well. Yeah. We're actually getting closer to it for now. Now we can't fly the MegaMiner remotely, but we can't build the rail remotely, so I did go ahead and jump in. so that we can pop out and build that rail. Yeah, the amount of power that we have and how long it's going to last us went down significantly from a year to 20 days when we cranked up the power on that antenna. We can actually turn it down a little bit. No, not quite that much. We can turn it down to 40,000. Because if I remember right, this bookmark was about 33, 34 away, so 40,000 will be plenty to keep us in contact with the space industrial complex and therefore everything else that's connected so far. We will eventually want to go out and put an antenna on the ice station. We also still need to build up that uranium station, but I think we're good for uranium for the moment. We're also good on ice for the moment. We'll see how much magnesium we end up with when we try to fill this thing up. At some point we'll want to build mines on everything, but we're kind of doing a haphazard as we need it kind of approach at the moment. We did the uranium one because the MegaMiner would have been particularly difficult to fit into that cave. It will also not be easy to fit the MegaMiner into the cobalt tunnel when it comes time to get more cobalt. But we already drilled all the way down to the deposit with the colonizer, so it's a very narrow hole, so we'll see what we end up doing for that. We might be able to fit the MegaMiner in. I haven't tried, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and speed up a little bit here. This is taking a while. That should do. Now, these are all of our drill controls, but we don't actually need those anymore because we scripted it on the 5th toolbar. Let's start, stop, and pause. Those are all of our industrial machines. I'm going to go ahead and turn those off for the moment. That's just the conveyor. Doesn't save a whole lot of power because they were only using a kilowatt of fleet power. You don't want to leave all that alone. Although I'll turn the ore detector on when we get closer. I'm pretty sure the magnesium is exposed and impossible to miss, but we might need it. Stay on this toolbar for now, because we'll need the gyros and the thrusters again when we get closer. We should start slowing down some. Just some, not too much yet. Still got a little ways to go. But I don't really want to overshoot it, and I certainly don't want to crash into it. Now we can refine the magnesium in the basic refinery that we have on board the MegaMiner, but we don't have the productivity modules on it, or the, I guess they're productivity modules. I don't remember what they're called now. Yeah, productivity modules, which are basically doubling our output if we do it at the Space Industrial Complex. So we're going to put it all into cargo. I'm pretty sure we have everything empty. Yeah, everything's empty except, things that can't be empty, like our reactor and our ice generator could be empty. But there's no ice on this asteroid if I remember correctly anyway, so it's not like we're going to be filling that up. And we do have 74% in the hydrogen tank. So we can certainly refill our jetpack, and we can use the O2H2 generator to refill oxygen on the off chance that we need it, but we shouldn't. Because I've noticed that as long as you're wearing your helmet, you don't actually seem to consume any oxygen when you're sitting in a cockpit. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if that's explainable somehow, but it is what it is. Alright, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn on the ore detector. The magnesium is down on the bottom here. Almost there. There it is. Oh yeah, there it is. Go ahead and put the dampeners on. Get ourselves lined up for about the middle of it. Put the dampeners back off. Give ourselves a little bit of forward velocity to drift into it. Try to get about in the middle. And then when we build our rail, it's going to be coming out of the middle of the deposit here because this is a pretty wide deposit. when we eventually build a mining station on top of it, that'll stretch out all the way to the side so that we can drill all of it without drilling away our supports that are bracing us into the asteroid itself. Go ahead and slow down a little bit here. We don't want to hit too hard. Alright. So our drills have made contact here. Looks like we're about in the middle. Our gear is on the sides here, so we will bust out our armor block. Now this is not an exact science because there's no aligning to the grid or anything like that. Now we can use the remote to adjust the position of the MegaMiner if we need to. We are going to have to tilt it, I think, because the way that we're aligned, we're going to end up hitting it. Yeah, there we go. Where's the... Okay, so we need to kind of turn it a little bit. Control the MegaMiner. Exit camera view. We're just going to spin a little bit here. And pitch down a little bit. And up a little bit. This way a little bit because our drill's contacting there. That'll do for now. Might have to adjust it again. Probably will. Yeah, we will. Because we're not going to meet up here. But we can at least figure out how high we need to build this thing. Yeah, we're not lined up and we're too far over. So now we'll go back into the control, exit that camera, swing ourselves out a little bit this way, go ahead and get the toolbar that we need. Oh, the toolbar that we need is not on the remote control. Okay, so we're going to add it. Do the left camera and switch lock on the left clamp. Leave the right camera, switch lock on the right clamp. So this is the left one. that clamp should become lockable here in just a second. That's the turn. Get on camera here. I'm gonna go ahead and put one more block on. Yep, there we go. So now, if I access this, it's ready to lock, and it's locked. Now, the drill controls are also not on the remote control. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop into the cockpit, because I want to have it replenishing my energy and oxygen anyway. Get our front-facing camera, and start drilling. Turn off the lights, the engines, and the gyros can turn off too. You want to turn off the thrusters because the thrusters are pointing at the drills. As long as they're not actually firing, I think we're okay, but if they do fire for any reason, since we've got the inertia dampers on, we might end up damaging the drills, and that would be bad. So now let's keep an eye on our inventory. Everything is stacking up in the drills because we have the conveyors turned off for those. Drills, conveyor system on. And now inventory, everything's going in the cargo container. Perfect. Now we wait. And if we start picking up stone, we know we've drilled all the way through. If we stop picking up magnesium, we can go ahead and stop. Because that's the point where we will want to build a station so that we can drill radially. We're still just working on the small cargo container for now. That's almost full though. I don't remember what the percentage was. I know the magnesium percentage was very small. We don't get a whole lot of magnesium ingots, or powder, rather. I mean, technically they're ingots as far as the game's concerned, but it's magnesium powder. We don't get a whole lot of that from magnesium ore. So we will want quite a bit of this. Just to save ourselves the trip. Especially since we've got, or at least are planning to have the weapon set up to fire automatically. Now it's going to load up the refinery, but the refinery is not turned on, so it's not going to do anything. The conveyor is turned off for the refinery, so it's not pulling anything in except, you know, when it's the next priority for pushing stuff out of the drills, which is what's going on here. So that's going to fill up, then it'll start going in a large cargo container. No, it's going to go into the cockpit first. The connector first, then the cockpit. We got quite a bit of storage space here. We also want to monitor and see if our piston is fully extended. It's not. We've got a ways to go. But what we'll do then is we'll stop the drill and retract it. Well, it'll actually stop automatically if I remember the way I coded it right. And then we'll move ourselves down into the hole that we've created and lock back onto the rail and start again. So we don't actually have to pay that much attention to the piston because it'll do all that automatically if I remember right. I have to check. Check drill. If the cargo's full, it pauses. If it's at the limit, it stops. Yeah, okay. So the cargo shouldn't fill up for a while. Yeah, we're only at 5%. Not even. But the drill will fully extend. The piston controlling it anyway. Seems a little backwards not to fill up the cockpit, so we'll go ahead and just drop that in there. So now we're working on the large cargo container. That's going to take a little while. The last thing that'll fill up will be the drills. But we can monitor the total percentage here. Should probably display what it is we've got in cargo so we can see when we start picking up stone and stop picking up magnesium from the screen as well. As it is, we have to monitor that on the inventory screen. We got a decent amount of magnesium now. You know, come to think of it, I don't think we've actually used the MegaMiner since we wrote the script for it. This is the first time we're actually drilling in and carrying when it fully extends and carrying if the cargo's full or whatever. Like I said, the cargo won't fill. And it's going to pause if it does. And it's not refining the magnesium, so unless we end up with a bunch of stone, it'll stay full. So at that point, we will go ahead and actually stop it and head back at that point. But I'd be fairly impressed with this deposit if we don't punch through and get stone before we fill up. But as much magnesium as we've got here, I'm not going to worry about building a station here yet. If we do manage to punch all the way through the deposit, we'll build a station when we come back out next time. But I'm not going to do it now. Certainly not during this episode. I think I'm just going to go ahead and stop it once we restart the drill after we fully extend. We are still drilling. I should also put the piston extension limit on the output there. Got about another meter to go though, it looks like. Still just getting magnesium. Looks like our rate has decreased. Yeah, we're bringing it back up now. Because it does stop the rotation on the drills, even though it doesn't actually stop the drills themselves. So go ahead and close that. Wonder how close we'll get to the iron deposit. I mean, 350 meters is pretty far going 10 meters at a time. Okay. So gyro back on, thrusters back on, landing gear unlocked. Now we will turn off the dampeners and thrust forward a little bit and drift into the hole we just drilled until we get to the bottom of it. As long as that landing clamp stays ready to lock, we'll just go ahead and lock it wherever we end up. Oh, it's unlocked, so we're drifting away from the rail somewhat here. So we'll have to get the landing gear camera and see where we ended up. And that's on 6. Alright, lock it back on. And we'll go back to the other camera. And I want to go back to the mine controls, drilling controls. Oop, no, I don't, not yet. First I want to turn the gyro and the thrusters off. Now I want the drill controls. We'll start drilling again. And we are not even a quarter, just barely a quarter of the way full. Excuse me. So yeah, this is going to take a little while. So I'm going to cut the episode here. I will finish drilling out what we're going to drill out. And we'll see how much we end up with in the next episode. In the next episode, we will get this back and refine it. For one, I might do that off camera, or at least get back and start. But that'll be happening kind of in the background. I think I want to build like a cargo shuttle, so that if we do need to fly out to any of these stations, we don't have to bring the MegaMiner along with us. And if we want to refill the relay satellites, we can fly that out. And then we'll work on coding that up to fly automatically, I think, at some point after that's built. So that's the plan for the future. We'll see how long that plan lasts before it changes. Subscribe to see that. Likes, comments, and verbal abuse are welcome. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.